This is the 8,000 piece Dreamtown puzzle by Educa, and it was always the intention for me to keep this puzzle until I reach one of the major milestones, either 500 subscribers or 1,000 or even higher. I'm impatient and it's taking way too long for my liking, so I decided I will start this puzzle today. And it might take me a couple of weeks, so this might turn into a series. So depending on how long I spend on this puzzle, you might get update videos every week or every 2 weeks until I finish this beauty and I'm ready. I've got all my cardboards, I've got my sorting bowls, and believe it or not, I've decided to mix all the pieces for this puzzle. So I will do it as one 8,000 piece puzzle. I've measured my table and it is luckily big enough to fit the whole puzzle. So I'm very, very excited to start. And up until date, my biggest puzzle I've assembled as a single puzzle was 6,000 pieces. So this will be my biggest assembled if I manage to finish it. So let's see what's inside the box. So it seems we've got a poster, and none of the other Educas I've got has got a poster inside. And those were all older puzzles, and they were mostly bought secondhand. So they might have gotten posters included, but I think this might be a new feature from Educa. But just look at that beauty. Absolutely love, love, love the image. And there's some tricky parts in here, the buildings, the castle. I'm not quite sure if I will be using the poster or not, but those of you who the poster is make or break, there is one included. We've got 2 bags of pieces, and I can only assume it's 4,000 pieces per bag, but like I said, I will be mixing them. And this is what 8,000 pieces look like. I will mix them thoroughly and then I will start sorting. Obviously, my goal is to take out the edge pieces first. So there's one already. And I will start with the edge basically just so that I've got a sense of space and size. And from there, I will just tackle whatever stands out to me the best. So let me get sorting. As many of you know, sorting is my least favorite thing to do. So I am going to be very honest if I say I did not enjoy the first 2 days of this puzzle and the process of sorting. But I do agree that, especially for bigger piece count puzzles, it is necessary. And that's why I decided I will definitely sort the pieces for this one, even if it's just a rough sort, just to get some of the elements separated from others. If I had this puzzle like 5 years ago, I think I might actually have tried to do this one from the box. At that stage, my space was very limited. I didn't have all the balls. I didn't have all the cardboards. So, and that was at that point how I puzzled big puzzles, is from the box. So as much as I did not enjoy the process of sorting, afterwards I was glad that I did opt for sorting. So I've got more or less 2,000, maybe a little bit more pieces left in here. I will not sort those any further. I think I've got enough here to get me off to a good start. So right here I've got blue purplish color pieces, which I assume is this 2 rooftops. Then of course I've got the edge pieces with which I will start. I've got 2 balls of green pieces. That's all the greenery. And I've got a little bit of plants or actually flowers in here. Those I assume will be these in this corner. And I don't know if you can see it, those purple ones over there. Then I've got 2 bowls of brown rooftops. Over here, I've got sky pieces with everything colorful. So that will be the hot air balloons and stuff. I've got 3 dark brown piece bowls, which is all the darker buildings. And then we've got 3 bowls with the lighter building pieces, which I assume will be the castle mostly. And then blue, also 3 bowls, which will be the sky and water. And then also 3 bowls with yellowish sky pieces. There might be some of the castle pieces in between here as well. This is probably a very rough sort, so nothing is exact. But I think I've got enough to get me off to a really good start. So I will start with the edge and let's see where I go after that. So the very first thing I noticed when I started with the edge pieces were the texture in the sky, and it looked very, very familiar. For a moment there, I thought I had the wrong puzzle because I recognized it as being exactly the same as the Enter the Bedroom puzzle, also by Educa, which is a 6,000 piece puzzle. And lo and behold, when I took out both boxes, both puzzles are by the artist Patrick Krasny, if I'm not mispronouncing that. If I am, I'm so terribly sorry. So obviously, this is his art style and how he finishes off his work. Absolutely love it. And for some or other reason, it might look intimidating and it might look difficult, but even with the Enter the Bedroom puzzle, I found this to be helpful. The combination of the colors used to get that effect help to determine the color differences in all the pieces. So for some other reason, the sky didn't come together as difficultly as I expected it to. So I quite enjoyed the process of starting with the sky, and I was just too thankful to be done with sorting. So here's my first check-in. I've got a corner of sky here with a roof and a balloon. I've got some water, and that color definitely stood out to me, very distinguishable from the sky. There's a hot air balloon starting to come together. Some more sky pieces. There's even a little tower of the castle rooftops. More hot air balloon and another castle tower. Had this been a 1,000 piece or a 1,500 piece puzzle, I probably would have pushed to complete the sky before I moved to the other elements. But I found that once I started looking for specific color pieces, my eyes got tired and I stopped seeing differences in the colors. So I frequently moved on to other items and other subjects so that my eyes get to focus on new colors and new textures. And here with the second progress update, you will see I managed to do some yellow. I added to the blues. I managed to connect the yellows and the blues together, and I also connected that last tower there. There is some islands here that cannot yet be connected. This water, for instance, will come down way later in the puzzle, but I'm glad I already managed to assemble it. So, as most of you know, Educa is notorious for its loose cut, and it's definitely not a tight fit. Personally, I don't mind the looser cut. I grew up with loose fit puzzles, and somehow I kind of like it and I prefer it. I had zero problems with the cut or the fit up until here, taking into consideration all the repeat colors in the sky. I had zero false fits, which is one of the great qualities of Educa. So I do understand there's some people that won't touch these puzzles. And I, for one, is one that absolutely love their images. I love the cut. I love the quality. So here's my third progress update. I've started assembling more of the edge pieces. I put the sky pieces, blue and yellow combined, on some cardboards. And I know my cardboards are small compared to what other people use. Again, I prefer this because I only have to consider like 30 to 40 pieces at a time instead of like 100 or 80 to 100 pieces at a time. And you will also note that I also shape sorted all the pieces, which make it very much easier to recognize pieces that you are looking for. The last two here is all the curvy shaped pieces. And I also added the castle pieces to cardboards. Again, I organized them by shape. Very helpful tip for difficult or big puzzles. I did this from relatively early on in the puzzle, and I assume and I believe that helped me quite a lot to get to the progress that I had up until here. And the thing with the cardboards is you have to be tricky because they don't have edges. So if I bump on one of them, the pieces can easily fall off. So this is a very careful process for me. And then there we are. I've got another blue roof in, more yellow, more of the castle. There's some extra water pieces. This guy grew a little bit into some greenish colors. So up until here, very happy with my progress. So as this puzzle is very big, I had a little bit of a struggle to get all the edges into the video. So I tried a couple of different angles, and in the end, I quite like the results in the sense that there is different angles and it is not too boring for a 12-minute long video. So let me know what you think about it. What's your preferred angle of me assembling this puzzle? Away from the top down or this one from the front? So this will be more or less my last check-in for this video, and I'm very happy with the progress. I've got those two roofs are in. Balloons are mostly done. I need a few pieces there. Same on this side. Mostly they are done. I've got the lighthouse, more or less. The castle roofs are taking shape. There's some more pieces of the castle that needs to connect at some point. A lot of the water pieces are in. This side is more of the water. And then a lot of sky. And I must say, I'm very happy with the sky that I got done. Obviously, there is still a lot of pieces that needs to go in, and I struggle with the distinction of the colors to get those holes filled in. But that's next week's problem. For now, that's my progress, and I'm happy. Okay, so this what you see here is more or less 2 weeks worth of progress. I'm very happy with what I've got done, considering that I mixed all the pieces and I had to sort through 8,000 pieces. So I've got little gaps over here, every there and again. So I believe I will have to go through the balance of the pieces in the box very soon to fill up these gaps, because I'm fairly certain they are no longer on the cardboard. So that's something I do not look forward to, but I will have to do it if I want to fill up these gaps. But that's for the next 2 weeks. I assume it will be another 2 weeks before I do another update video on this beautiful puzzle. But yeah, I am loving the process. I am very happy with the progress and can't wait to finish it. As always, I would just like to say thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.